creepy ducks, being buried alive in Barbie dolls. In this video, we're going to look at the 15 weirdest phobias to ever exist. Part 2. Number 15, triskaidekaphobia. How high can you count? If you can count to 13, you might want to be careful who's around you when you count. Some people you know may be just scared of the number 13. And that sounds a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? People who have triskaidekaphobia are scared of anything that has the figure 13 on it. This fear may be because of the stories they heard. Maybe they watched a horror movie when they were kids where someone died on the 13th day. They probably hate the 13th of every month and expect something bad to happen to them on that day. Number 14, phagophobia. Choking on your food can be pretty scary. You could even choke on water, your own saliva, and weirdly, you could choke on air. Choking is painful. It means that you can't breathe for a while. It kind of makes sense that some people are really afraid of it, right? Phagophobia is the intense fear of choking on your food when you try to swallow it. People who have this fear probably watch someone choke on their food. These people are so scared that they'll choke to death when they eat something, so they just don't eat sometimes. Sounds pretty extreme to me. Number 13, aphibophobia. This fear is very weird. This is a fear of young people or youths. This is very different from pedophobia, which is the fear of children. I guess this fear comes from the idea that young people can be aggressive and noisy. This is definitely found in older people. In fact, some young people have said that old people have crossed the street to avoid them. I have no words. Number 12, euphobia. Who do you call when something good happens to you? Your mom, dad, best friend, or sibling. It's very normal to want to tell anybody something good that happened to you, even a stranger you meet on the street. You might want to be careful though. That stranger could have euphobia. People who have euphobia are scared of good news. That's right. You want to make sure a person doesn't have euphobia before you tell them something that made you happy. They actually don't prefer bad news. They're probably just scared that good news could be too good to be true and then end up as bad news. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Number 11, linophobia. This fear is a little ridiculous to me. Linophobia is the irrational fear of strings. I wonder if that includes string cheese. People with this phobia are scared of all types of strings, including yarn, thread, rope, etc. That must make putting on clothes with loose threads very terrifying for them. Shoelaces can also make people with this phobia have a bad reaction. When they get scared, they could lose their breath, throw up, faint, or even run away. If you think these are weird, wait till you hear about the fear of dining, making decisions, and the crazy fear of the rain. Number 10, dipnophobia. Imagine you invite your friend over for a play date. They start until evening and then you ask them to stay for dinner. They start to stammer, sweat, and eventually they run away. You'd be so confused, right? Your friend might just have dipnophobia. Dipnophobia is the fear of dining with other people. What exactly could be so scary about having a meal with people? Some people are scared that other people would watch them eat and make fun of them. Some others are scared that they'll say the wrong thing during dinner and embarrass themselves. This makes them avoid going out to eat with people. That means they probably miss all the birthday dinners of their friends. Number 9, decidophobia. Let's do something fun. Which do you like better, green or blue? Ice cream or yogurt? Jacket or sweatshirt? Summer or winter? Were you able to pick an answer to each question easily? If you did, congratulations. You do not have decidophobia. People with decidophobia have an intense fear of making the wrong decisions. You really can't always tell what the right or wrong thing is. The people with this fear try to avoid making decisions. Maybe they once made a wrong decision that cost them something really important. Number 8, ombraphobia. Don't you just love rainy days? Rainy days can sometimes mean no school. That's always fun. You get to stay home, watch TV, and drink hot cocoa. Unfortunately, not everyone gets excited for rainy days. Ombraphobia is the intense fear of rain. This is the most common fear of something related to the weather. This fear may be common in kids, but even some adults get the sweats when the rain starts. People with this fear are often afraid of thunderstorms, thunder and lightning that come with rain. I understand that thunderstorms and lightning can be scary, but not scary enough to make you scared all the time. Number 7, emetophobia. Have you ever had to give a speech in front of a lot of people? Does this scare you? If during the course of your speech you suddenly throw up and then run off in fear, there's a chance that you have this next phobia. Emetophobia is the fear of throwing up. People like this are so scared they'll throw up, they can't also stand the sight of people throwing up. This phobia can make people avoid eating in public, going to public bathrooms, or people who look like they're gonna puke. If you feel the need to throw up, be sure it's not around someone with this fear. You don't want to give them a panic attack. Number 6, podophobia. People have all sorts of weird reactions to feet. Some people love feet, other people hate them. Then there are people with podophobia. Podophobia makes people actually afraid of feet. The anxiety this phobia causes is so bad that people who have it can do anything to avoid seeing feet or touching anyone's feet. If they do see feet, they could break out in cold sweats and start feeling dizzy. Podophobia is probably really difficult for people who have to be in locker rooms with other people. Would you be friends with any podophobic person? This means you would always have to have your shoes on. Number 5, electrophobia. A lot of people are scared of different animals. Some people are scared of dogs, cats, goats, giraffes. Did I say cats already? What? They're pretty scary. Electrophobia is the fear of chickens. This is a fear that sometimes makes no sense because the people that have it have no solid reason for being scared. They do everything they can to avoid chickens and any other birds. That's not all. They're also afraid of the eggs of the bird. That just seems pretty intense. Number 4, puppophobia. Have you ever been to a puppet show? Those handheld toys can be the cutest things in the world. They can sing and dance, but despite how cute they are, people are still scared of them. People who have puppophobia have a fear of all puppets. Don't you wonder what could have caused this fear? Well, it turns out people can be generally scared of things that could come alive and attack them. Puppophobia is really common, so I guess these people have to avoid circuses and fairs so they don't have panic attacks. Starting now, things get serious. We're going to look at the fear of Barbies, dying when you shouldn't, and big furry birds. Number 3, pediophobia. Hide your Barbies. They could be the reason someone passes out. Just like puppophobia, this is also a common fear. Pediophobia is the fear of dolls. This fear usually stems from the belief that a doll could hurt them. Those who have this fear could not watch movies with Annabelle or Chucky in them. Those demon dolls would probably give them a severe nightmare. The sad part is that people with pediophobia know that this fear is irrational, but they can't control it. They could break into cold sweats or even become frozen due to fear. Children with this phobia may start screaming or cling to their parents when they see a doll. That doesn't sound like fun, right? Number 2, taphophobia. Would you like to go exploring in a cave? What about underground? If your answer is yes, then you probably don't have this next fear. Taphophobia is not a fear of the dark, but the fear of being buried alive. People with this phobia try hard to avoid dark and enclosed spaces like caves and basements. They won't even go to a cemetery so they don't accidentally fall into a grave and get buried. What are the chances of that? People have actually been buried alive in the past. Rumor has it that the bells in cemeteries are there so that people who haven't died could wake up from the sound of a bell. I wonder if those bells ever did save the life of someone wrongly buried. Do you think it's possible? Now the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, anatidaephobia. This final phobia is an animal-related phobia. No, it's not the fear of being eaten by an animal like a lion. It's also not the fear of being chased by an ostrich. Oh no, this is far weirder than you imagine. Anatidaephobia is the fear of being watched by, wait for it, a duck. Yeah, you heard it right. There are people out there who live in fear of a duck, a goose sitting and staring at them. Ducks are soft and fluffy creatures. They aren't naturally aggressive and they don't have any parts that can act as a weapon. People with this phobia probably think that the bird is thinking of ways to harm them. Well, geese do look pretty scary sometimes, and I guess a goose attack is something to look out for. What do you think? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.